Hi guys. As you can tell, I glammed myself back up because the last time I didn't realize that I was on video. I figured thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I literally feel so much thankfulness and empathy for you guys tuning in that I wanted to give you guys something back. I wanted to explain something I never get the chance to explain in any of my videos because I know people just want to be there really quickly. The reason I haven't been uploading videos lately is because this thing is not only just really old, it will not record anything or keep live unless it's plugged into a wall. And being in film school, which is why I have the YouTube channel, I was just feeling embarrassed that I wasn't getting the lighting right and the dialogue right and all this stuff. I just wanted to be the best. And I wanted to also update you guys, not just on why I haven't been uploading videos, but like what I've been doing since then. So I got into film school because I saw Lord of the Rings behind the scenes, and also growing up as a kid, I'd always be watching TV and my dad would walk by and he would say, "Is that productive?" So I would always think, how can I make this productive as an answer? I had to say, okay, this is a story that teaches kids this. And a lot of the things are stories for kids, so I got into film. And I wanted to also get into education. So after I graduated with a film degree, because of a lot of YouTube people out there telling me I was a good teacher and I could be good teaching, I actually ended up going into teaching anyway. So I could understand how to have confidence in myself to teach other people out there. And in the meantime, I've picked up things like the violin, which is why you see the music stand. And I also want to give you guys some tips. Again, thank you for tuning in. So I was like, well, okay, what can I give back to you guys for taking the time out of your day? What can I do with my time for you? So here's some stuff that I have been doing by myself, isolated in shelter in place, and things that I've heard on podcasts like Before Breakfast gives you helpful tips on the morning rituals, how to zhuzh up your day. You can tell I watch Queer Eye. So the first thing that I did all for like a week and a half, this is so like excess. You don't have to do this at all. I have a whole problem with trying to figure out how to eat healthy, what to eat. And when I think about grocery shopping, I kind of get aggravated. I used to be really vegan for like 3 months. And then I was teaching cooking class as like an aide. So I wasn't the one having the recipes, but I would be teaching the kids how to cook. And then I became obviously more flexitarian. So you're eating more healthy or whatever, unless you're out at someone's house and you're like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to make a big deal about it. I don't really like cheese ever anyway. And I've never really liked, unless it's on pizza or like a Capri salad. Anyway, I like pepperoni baked chips. Anyway, that's not the point. My point is sometimes recently with the whole COVID thing and being by myself cooking, it's like, just make pasta. I don't have enough time. So I decided to make a board so that when I'm lazy, I could just look at it and be like, oh, these are all the vegetables. There are some missing because they're magnets. Okay, I'm taking celery off. They're magnets. So if I say like, what do I have to eat as a snack? What do I have in my house? I could just take it off and put it on my refrigerator. Again, like this took a lot of time. I had to find the picture, cut it out really thin, then then write the name of it on there, and then laminate it. And then as you can tell, like I've got like kale, but there's like 3 different types of kale. I have another board of fruits. I didn't realize that nuts were a fruit. That's interesting. So again, just whatever. So that's one thing that you can do if you're having problems shopping and figuring out what to eat and also be healthy. Another tip I found recently was a 2-minute timer. And they said if you're having problems getting to start an activity like a hobby or workout, a task that's really hard, like it's hard for me to work out in the morning sometimes, unless I dance to music and I blast it and I sing. They say just start a timer for 2 minutes, whether in your head, your phone, or an actual timer, and then afterwards it becomes easy. Before Breakfast podcast a day taught me that you could do 25-minute hobby and then take a break and then go back to the hobby over and over again. What's something else that I've been doing too? Like I know, the last video I said to find a song that you like and just blast it, and then also to dance and also sing because I realized that it helps. And studies have shown that if you sing, your anxiety lowers itself, so that's good. And dancing, it sounds weird that I haven't done it so long, but just because I live in an apartment, I don't really have a place since COVID to practice. And also, the place that I practiced, how do I say this without being weird? I'm already being weird. It's already happening. Some girl committed suicide where I practice, and it's outdoors near a bridge. So the last time I went there to practice there, I literally went to that spot and just kind of talked to her, whoever she was, and just said, like, I don't know your story. I'm not going to say it's sad. I'm going to say, like, you did the best you can. I don't know. But so to give back to you guys who are watching, thank you. I wanted to do a video that I'd want to do for a long time. Again, I can't because it's not recording. And also, I have footage on here that I haven't done any editing with lately. I have stuff on gardening here. So look for that. Just lots of information. I want to redo them. But the video that I wanted to do for a lot of people before getting into teaching and practicing violin, someone had suggested to me, and that was, what are the different type size hula hoops good for? And I've been trying to figure out how to explain it, but it's longer than a 7-minute video or a 10-minute video. So I have some of my stuff here today. These are the ones that I've recently used. These are the Polypro ones. They're just faster. And then these are the ones, like, I recently moved, so these are the ones that I brought with me. And they're pretty much all PSI, PE type hula hoops, except for some of them. I'll go into them in a minute. So I'll just start the video about hoop sizes. And then I'll get into, if you were tuning in the beginning, the last video that I didn't realize was public, but I will tell you my train of thought and what I was going to say in that video if it was just for me watching. But for now, I'll just go into hula hooping. Also, I have nail art designs that I've wanted to do, but I don't know if people like my channel for the nail art or for the hula hooping. So I was just hesitant if I should even make one on nail art. But if you do like, if you want more cooking videos, nail art, hula hooping, healthcare, if you like my Instagram, which is a lot more inspirational quotes, or me trying to do art and show you my hobby, trying to show you funny things, or like, this needs justice, inspiration, encouragement, empowerment, yes, then you can go to that channel. And by the way, I don't know if I've introduced myself in all these years. My name is Jenny. It's so weird to finally say hello. I'm not just Jen 101. I like to keep my privacy, but it's also because people aren't going to get my name right as far as spelling goes. So I am very grateful to the last person that tuned in. No one says my name right, so I really value not just your time when you take your time to see me, but also I want to value your name and how to get it right. So I screenshotted your name so I could try to get it right. Caroline. So just let me know, please, because I want to give you respect. And this video is sort of for you and other people who want to see it. So when you're starting as a beginner hula hoop, you're mostly going to have a big, giant hula hoop this size, around the 40, 38, 39, 37. And depending on how heavy it is, like this one has 2 tapes lighter. This one has 4 tapes, so it's a little bit heavier. It depends on what you want to do in your workout. Even if they're different different weights, you can still do the same speed with them. It just depends on how you utilize it. There's a video out there by, pretty sure her name's Peopleicious, and she has it as you kind of go back and forth, right? But if you want to go faster, you just quicken the pace. So if I were to sit here and tell you that the size means you're going to go faster or slower, then I would be wrong, because it depends on what you're doing in the hula hoop too. So bigger hoops normally mean slower rotation. So pick a slow song, or it helps you build muscle memory or learning how to do a trick, or even how do you say, I'm just like worried about time. I'm so focused all the time on making everything perfect for videos. if you want to tone your arms, or you know what I do sometimes, because I get lazy. If I have a sore neck sometimes, I'll just like use it as like a massager and just like massage my neck or or my arm. Again, you can just, this spot is not great for hula hooping, and also the grip and what I'm wearing. But so again, it's for if you want to go slow. It looks really good for sustained hula hooping and things like that. A medium-sized hoop. So I'll just show you guys these ones. These are all, you can tell like they're relatively smaller. The reason I chose these two, even though they're like the same size, is because they're lighter. And if they're smaller in diameter or circumference, then they're going to be faster as a rotation. And especially if they're lighter, like these ones in the back, or they're small and they're light, they're going to go even faster. So if you want to go fast song, or you're very used to your flow, you can do that too. I think someone was asking me about different types of hula hoop sizes and tapes. So I'll go into that real quick. As you can see here, not the glitter one, the rough stuff, it's called grip tape. I've had videos on that before, but there's another type of tape called performance tape. So do you see the tape on this one? It's because I didn't understand what exactly that meant. You can see it on the inside, but it's because I let some kids play with my hula hoop when I got it, and they just scratched the whole entire thing. So the tape's just coming off. Otherwise, the tape looks iridescent. This one has two different sides. So I think one side's like purple, and then the other side's green in like a reflective light. So it's lighter than grip tapes or normal decorative tapes. You know, there's so many videos right now on all this stuff, and I don't want to repeat anything. So I will say this. When you have a hoop that's a little bit smaller, and I can't really do it here because I need more of like a whoosh up, but you could do a lot more easier tricks that require like more balance. It needs to be lighter. Since if you did it on a big one, it would be like harder on your hand and heavier, and it wouldn't spin as much, but you might have more control over it. And then see if I was figuring out how to do a better, more concise video. And then the smaller hoops, I got this one at a hula hoop camp a while back, and it's bendable. Don't bend it though. It's a kid hoop, and it has vinyl tape all over it. Also, when I go to schools and I show the students what I have like tape on it so I know what size it is. It's 24. But you can do things like, I haven't done this in a while, the arrow toss. So you pull it and it's an arrow. You shoot the arrow. But the reason you go for a smaller hoop, like this is going to be a little bit smaller. A smaller hoop is so that you could get your arm around it like that. See? If you have a smaller hoop, I can't do it personally, but there's a trick called the buzzsaw where you spin it back on your thumb. It has to be smaller, and you have both of them going at the same time. Like, I'm not going to do it because I can't do it here, but that's something that you could do. But I like it because you can definitely go around. Here, let me see if I could do. It's like you have certain tricks that you can only do, but you have to get into a certain groove. So you can go all the way around and make it look like you're still moving and changing versus something bigger, even if it is lighter. Although I have seen someone, I can't do it here. It's too small the space, but that's something you can do with I think they call it ghost isolations. But isolations look better when it's a smaller hoop. And I've never really seen a lot of people hula hoop dance on the body with the smaller ones, but they are easier to take on airplanes. So if I had to do this video all over again and make it better, again, my thing would be, it depends on what you want out of your dance and your routine. If you want to go fast, if you want to go slow, it depends on what you're doing with your body. But if you just want to focus on the hula hoops themselves, the bigger ones are going to be a slower rotation, more of a muscle memory, muscle building, a massager, in my personal opinion and preference sometimes. And if I ever want to learn a new trick, I usually go with the big one just because it gives me more time to learn something because the rotation's slower. The medium ones or the light ones are if you are jamming out, you're practicing, you know what you want to do, you have fast music, You can make this a slow rotation too, and depending on what type of tape you have, you can make it a performance one, or if it's light or a performance one, you can make them go faster. And then the smaller ones are for more precise isolations, meaning like you have to get that muscle memory down from the big ones, because every little small detail could be seen on this one. I don't know if someone wanted to talk about tape, but you can see like if both tapes are going in the same direction versus if they're going opposite direction. I'll just do this real quick. I'm not really used to doing two versus, actually, so you can see it's kind of having that illusion just by the tape alone. And then if you flip it, okay, here we go. Yeah, is that still the same way? Okay. Sorry, guys. This video is almost ending. That's the end of the hula hooping section for now. If my honest to goodness advice about hula hooping is just to try moving your body in different ways. I have preschoolers who do not know how to hula hoop, but kids who are their age, kids who are older, I have taught a class of females who are 30, 40 years old, maybe 60, because they were trying to be teachers. So they were asking, what is something that you can teach the class? And I taught them hula hooping. And a lot of them were doing the wobble, you know, just trying to do different things. They were sustained spinning. And I was telling them, you know, hey, if your kids are in school and they're learning the letter V, like I have this in another video, have them make the letter V, realize what they're doing at the wrist, and then realize that since the top of the hula hoop is a circle, you can't make it sharp. You have to kind of trace the top of the hula hoop, go down. And it was so funny watching everyone just do this. They were like, well, this is easy. This doesn't look good. And I told them, once you start putting the other hand in, you go down and you cross. So here's another trick for you hula hoopers. If you're like, I already know all this stuff, you put your hands on your knees, you cross, and you uncross. Okay, so I am looking like a fool for this reason, so I could show you that when you do this with the hula hoop, it looks really cool. Have that kind of click for them, made it worthwhile to understand that it's about trying new things that aren't used to your hand and your movements, trying to be more creative so that you can make up your own tricks. And sometimes when you make up your own tricks, they already exist. So that's the hula hooping thing. And again, I really hope this was beneficial for people who tuned in, because I did not expect anyone to watch the video this morning, as you could tell. So I wanted to do a video for you guys. Again, if you're tuning in late, the wrap up that I had was to do for 2 minutes just to get into the habit of doing something, and then after a while it'll be easier. Practice something for 25 minutes, give yourself a break, then go back to doing it 25 minutes. If you're having problems with health and eating, also maybe make a list of the things that you know how to make or things that you like. Otherwise, just have all the you might want to go shopping for. And when you see something like there's, I don't know, I was gonna say durians, but I don't usually eat those. Dragon fruit, like I've always wanted to try that. So having it on as a representation, you'll be like, okay, or, oh, I need to get coconut milk, even though there's just a picture of coconut. Like you're more apt to eat healthier if you know what all the options are. And also, if you see that I'm missing some stuff because it's on my refrigerator, but if you see something not on here, let me know, because I'm trying to get as much as I can. Like you can see there's Asian pear, like normal pear. There's like 6 different types of green beans, and that's like French beans, cluster beans, different types of green beans. It's insane. And also to kind of tell you, this is what I was trying to say this morning in the video that you saw. Okay, how do you explain this? I'm half Chinese. My mom passed, So it was up to me to understand what that meant in my culture and religion with respect. And I learned that my mom probably wanted me to be a human being, not a girl, but just have a good kid that she raised. I didn't care about makeup, outfits, or clothing, have fashions, certain fashion, or how to act. And it was only when I kept hearing it over and over again from guys, I can't do this. I can't hula hoop. It's a girl's thing. And I realized, wow, we've not only genderized colors, we've genderized shapes. And that's when I started getting into what feminism meant, because some hula hooper was parading around on her outfit on stage, and she didn't realize that she had to explain, like, if you're a Little Mermaid and you're dancing to Under the Sea, it makes sense why you're dressing that way. Or, your performance from a film aspect has to explain something with aesthetics because you only have a few seconds. But she was so quick to jump on this guy and say, it's his fault that he's being sexist towards me because he's saying, wow, I didn't realize you could do that with a hula hoop. And me and a lot of other people were saying, well, like, we've had that said to us too. Like, it's amazing you can do a lot of this stuff with the hula hoop, but it's not necessarily an attack on you. But if you're feeling self-conscious because you're trying to convey confidence with what you're wearing, but you're still feeling self-conscious about it, like, you need to understand what feminism is. So basically, I was trying to figure out what that word was. And that means, since I'm a middle kid, I can't say that I have this viewpoint and I have this viewpoint unless I walk on the other side and understand both sides. So being an Asian minority and being a majority, I understand both. I understand both sides. I understand, I get racism, I get discrimination. But I have to understand that guys also get told that they have to grow up, to grow a pair, not express themselves, don't ask questions, be a man, stop crying. And just, that'd be horrible to live. Like, you can't figure out who you are as a human and be yourself because you're always told it's not good enough. So the reason I started this video this morning was because I related it to schools. At the beginning of this video, I had said I became a teacher because hula hoopers online and people were saying you should be a teacher. So I was like, okay, let's figure that out. How can media educate kids? And how can I use media with books, with television to educate kids in the classroom? How do I have confidence in teaching? What can I see in the society of education so I understand what needs to be changed, how to change it, how to be proactive, be the change you wish to see in the world? And this morning I sent a text and I said, I was listening to this podcast about the show Scrubs. The show's called Scrubs, but this podcast is actually funny. It's called Fake Doctors, Real Friends. Real doctors had to tell the writers of the show what really happens when you're a doctor and you get sick and because you're in a sick place and you have to go back to work, or when you just were talking to someone and they die, when you have someone have a pregnancy and then they have an emergency C-section, when, for example, when there's something in the news story, people think they have it and suddenly there's so many people coming to the hospital, or even things about insurance. My mom died in the hospital because of cancer. And knowing that that could be me, even if I don't have cancer, I could be the carrier giving that gene to my kid, something I learned in high school biology. It scared me to go to the hospital. I had so many of my friends and family members pass away in the hospital, and that show made me not feel so scared. But with all the medical thing about COVID, and as far as me talking about being Asian in the beginning, all the racism about it made me realize that it's like being in school. I said Salem witch trials because, like, you choose any topic, the Iditarod, using dogs. I was gonna say sledding. Mummification, how interesting that was for that culture, that group, that company, that society at one point. Salem witch trials, which was only a few hundred years ago. We thought so strongly that this was the right way to be. And having people talk about COVID in the beginning was so empathetic. How are you doing? Are you okay? I heard something on this podcast and they had talked about someone who, for one situation, had to amputate their leg because of blood clotting. And I didn't realize that was even on the table with COVID. And I just texted my family and said, just be safe. And what came back was one person sending like so many hearts in their text message, but saying so many negative things. Like, here's our viewpoint. It's not your viewpoint, but this is what we're doing. Maybe you're doing things wrong. Maybe we're doing things right. It was just so heavy and amped up. And if you don't respect social distancing, that's on you. It's whatever, okay? But don't suddenly walk close to someone who does believe in social distancing. Don't purposely cough or sneeze on someone who's wearing a mask, who's trying to do it for their safety or yours. People in Japan, like the show Queer Eye, they were interviewing people in Japan before COVID, and they had said, why do people in Japan wear masks? There were like 5 different reasons before COVID why people were wearing masks. Whether you're sick, you think you're sick, someone, you just don't want to get sick by other people, you're hiding things, which is why I like to wear masks, like, blemishes and pimples and stuff like that, or you're trying to have like a costume. Like, it was just interesting. But for you to say you don't believe in something and you're going to actively completely be against it, to the point of not respecting someone, that was just, I didn't realize that's where we were in this world. So the reason I started this video, the first video, not this one, is because I was saying, when you're in class and you realize something from learning that you can't believe, you don't get the option of saying, Mrs. Wormwood, that's not true. You have to sit there and listen to it. The teacher gives you facts, whether it's science facts or medical facts or historical facts of politicians, whatever. And you have to sit there and analyze it and internalize that. Maybe you still believe in it, maybe you still don't. It doesn't matter, because later on you're going to be tested on that anyway. So nowadays, as we get older, we are not assimilating these things into our life to understand what's going on. We're the kid who's consistently, as adults, saying, I don't believe it, I don't want to, because it doesn't make sense, teacher, so I'm going to not try to work on it. Like in math class, I don't understand this math material. If you explain it and teach me, then I can understand it better. Maybe I understand it my own way. Again, I'm realizing I'm speaking in circles in this way, but it's like, I started the video saying, since when did empathy and compassion of talking about healthcare and being kind to people turn into a political viewpoint? It's so crazy right now with all the protests and rallies right now. Like last month, a few months ago, I heard that there was this is a reason this video is not made for kids. I heard that there was a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old with their parent who got shot in cold blood by a guy who had his viewpoint so strong about COVID that he thought that these people were the reason. Terry Crews in the podcast on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so you see I watch a lot of comedy shows, he had said he doesn't understand why people have a lot of hate crime. He thought that they hated so strongly they would actually take out this action. And he read something that he paraphrased on the podcast, and I'll paraphrase now too, that made him change his mind on what it was to be a male, toxic masculinity, which is why I brought the female and feminism thing up before, and race. He said sometimes people believe so strongly about their viewpoint that their belief makes them act a certain way. It's not that someone hates you, it's just that their belief is so strong. So that in mind, made me feel better, but at the same time, companies that are Asian restaurants are shutting down, people are talking negatively about Asians. They were saying, like, they were using different words for COVID-19 instead of the actual term to make it sound more racist. And people who, like my family, half of my family is Asian. They can't help the way that they look. Maybe you have prejudice the first seconds that you see them and meet them because of prejudice. In film school, someone raised their hand. It was a Black male student, and he said, how come all of the sidekicks and all the bad guys in all of these movies are either Asian or Black or minority? And that was 10 years ago. It was at least 7 years ago. And it's still something that I'm noticing in our media today before COVID. Every single time there's an Asian Avatar Last Airbender, an Asian video game, an Asian book that needs an Asian character, they whitewash it because they want to get more audience members who are white because they think that's more people coming into the movies. I've been on the side of film. Again, this is a really long video. when you're trying to do casting calls, it's not that you're trying to be racist or anything else like that. Here's a trick for you. Next time you see a film, if your character is the only one wearing white, or normally the only one wearing red, they need you to focus really quickly. So they need a color indication so they get your attention within seconds. They don't have time to sit there and say that she smelled a different way or she walked a different way that made her, outstanding. So they use these things and tricks to get people to understand really quickly. Maybe they want to say someone's a love interest, so they don't want to cast a minority because that's not seen in most movies. But prejudice and racism happens because we don't have representation. We don't have education. We don't teach these people about something that they might be fearful of. And if you think of something you're not knowledgeable about, like in school and stuff, and you're scared of what you don't know, you might be more apt to take it out on someone else. I don't understand why someone cooks this way, so I think that they're smelly, and I'm going to stick with the prejudice that they're gross people who are uncivilized, and when something happens, I'm going to blame them because I don't know much about my fear. Being in school, teaching kids for 4 years, 5 years, this is what I've learned. Being in film industry, this is what I've learned. Being out in public, this is what I've learned. So it just, to me, it made me kind of compare knowing new information in this day and age as, well, I don't understand it, I don't care, so I'm going to keep going. I don't have to pass the test, I'm fine as I am. Since it's a long video anyway, I'm just going to go in and say it. I had a conversation with a lady before COVID, 3 weeks before COVID, and she said that she made fun of her mom and said, "Mom, you're white," because the daughter's black. "Why can't you read? That's so funny." And the mom said, "Honey, you're lucky. You're privileged that you are a part of the black community. I'm black too, but I have white skin." And because I was still part of that community, they just didn't give a lot of education to our area to be, like, I'm not smart right now. I'm blanking on the word, literate. So I didn't get a chance to read the way that you're privileged in this day and age now to read. And the daughter was so shocked that she had done that racism to her mom, and shocked that this happened not long ago, that she was crying in her video on Instagram. And normally she's happy. And I would texted her and I was like, "I want to hug you so bad. Just let it all out. Tell yourself the truth." And she started talking to me about being a mixed person. And I told her about me being mixed and being Asian. I can't drink, but people think I'm making a drama deal about it because I can't drink, but they don't understand that Asians can't drink, and all this other stigma. So you get racism if people think that has to be you look a certain way or skin color. But you need to be on the, like I said in the beginning of the video, you need to know your side, but walk to the other side to know where you balance, where you stand. And during the literally National Asian Heritage Month of May, people were saying, go out and support your Asian restaurants, because people were kind of a little bit being racist because they were scared about food from that place because of COVID. And again, I don't care. I'm just going to eat whatever because it's delicious. Even if I'm vegan, I have to make sure it's delicious. Or a flexitarian. And some people in the comment section of another minority group who are now in the news all over the place, some of them, not a portion of them, were saying, why would I support Asians in restaurants when people in that country are racist towards my people? And I'm thinking, you're talking about people in this country. You're not talking about people in your country to help your group out. This racism over here is not going to help over here. So it's just, you're saying that racism is only in one group, it's only one way. No, it could work the other way too. So just right now with people in their viewpoints of masks, their viewpoints of racism, like I just don't get, just treat everyone nice, okay? If someone is being mean, you don't have to treat them nice because that's a human being. If someone is trying to be nice, understand that people who do that, very rare nowadays that people feel like they can do that. So treat them kindly, considerately, nicely. Appreciate the time they put into it. Like right now it's lunch. I'm considerate of your time. Go eat lunch. Have some delicious noodles or something. But this video was made for the person who commented in the first video. And I really appreciate your time. So I made another video for you about tips and tricks. I'll get a better idea about the video later on, how to do better. Again, I'm trying to upload footage on plant life. So you can't really see it right now. I've got plants over here. Actually, see, I got plants for days. But I wanted to do a video because I really wanted to give something back to you. This is a long video. I'm sorry. Also, another tip, meditate in the morning. Because if you don't, you turn out like me right now and just freaking out. And also, when you're trying to start your day, you don't want to start with anxieties and worries. You just want to be able to start on a clean slate and know that right now in the present moment is what you can do. So 37 minutes in, that's 37 minutes of me trying to be present, trying to talk about something. Again, if you want to see a specific hula hoop video, nail art videos, cooking videos, I want to get more into editing things and acting and all this other stuff. Sorry again that it was very political near the end, but I just wanted to explain. It's a lot. I'm going to get a lot of comments later on. But those are my viewpoints, okay? So if you want to have conversation, let me know. My anxiety is kicking up, so just take a deep breath. Be in the present moment. Play music, dance, sing, because it lowers your anxiety. Smile for 2 minutes to 20 minutes because it releases serotonin. Get out there and walk because it gives you serotonin. And I'll check you guys out later, not in that way, but you know what I mean. Oh, and happy Friday. Do something fun.